Hey guys, it is Old Man G here, back again with another match preview. And guys, man, it's been a long time since I've been in the studio. I'm glad to be back, glad to just, exams over, glad to just refocus and get back to normal, really. So I'm just good to be back in the studio, good to be back doing this again. And you guys remember, if you're new to the channel, remember to like the vid. Really appreciate it. We're hoping to push on to 3K subscribers. Get involved, subscribe to the channel, remember to share and hit the notification button so that you know when we are live. Make sure that you get your comments and questions in. So it's the big game today, and shout out to, I think, KSI's in the comments, and also Don Ragnar. Shout out to you, fellow Don Ragnar, who, bro, Ollie's out the wheelchair and he's riding that thing off the cliff, man. I mean, I didn't obviously do a match reaction because reasons. Well, I had one of my final medical exams, so Don Ragnar, you'll probably appreciate that. Bad. I don't know. Well, I don't want to really go through that. I think we can all agree that the Leipzig versus situation was awful. But to be honest, from a very tactical standpoint, our tactics were completely and totally wrong, and that is all on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, quite frankly. Although what I would say in comparison to what a lot of people said is that, let's be real, the reason why we're not into the next round of Champions League is because of what happened in Istanbul. If we beat Istanbul home and away like we should have, and not taken the L when we were there in Istanbul, then whatever happened in the last two games would have been, quite frankly, irrelevant. So that's I think where the major L was, and where our players and our coach let us down. But it wouldn't be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer when his job is on the line to deliver a performance. And this is the thing. From what the last couple of games, to be frank, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has had Pep Guardiola's number. Although, to be honest, these days, it's not really that difficult to play against Manchester City. We saw Jose do it this season. We saw Arsenal do it somewhat last season. And Manchester City still have not really figured out that problem. And it's simple, really. Defend well, if we can do that, and then hit them on the counter-attack. That's it, really. City don't really have an outright number 9, I think, that can cause us problems. I think Pep said Sergio Aguero is not fit, but I have a feeling that he'll make an appearance. But we'll see what happens. But I'll get into what I expect from United and what I think where we go from in a second. Let's just have a look from comments. G passing down to Ollie fading. His big test. I haven't got the result yet, G. So fingers crossed. I get it January the 9th. But I can't care less. He needs to go. It's the same stuff. The inconsistency is the problem. Kobe Miranda, shout out to you, man. Hopefully it can be a bit more interactive. Get your questions in. Really appreciate it. And chow time, man. Appreciate it for stopping by. Remember to like the vid. Thank you very much. So let me just actually I'm just going to get the Premier League table up, because I think this is important before I quickly just go through Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's just briefly touch on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference. Let's get that share screen. Here we go. Right. So hopefully everyone can see that. And I'll just get my banner up. Hopefully everyone can see that. United are right. We're in 4th. We're now 6th place. We have got 19 points with a game in hand. So everyone above us has played an extra game. Our game in hand is against Burnley, who, quite frankly, are trash this season. I really hope that Burnley get relegated. Boring, dead football. But that's our game in hand. Anyway, in theory, if we were to win our game in hand against Burnley, we'd have 22 points, which would put us, well, essentially in 4th place, just behind Chelsea. There are obviously a lot of matches this week, and beating Manchester City this weekend, if we were to somehow beat Manchester City, would put us, if I can get my math right, 9, 1, 2, 3, would put us 4 points ahead of Manchester City. Obviously, that gives a bit of breathing space, and then bearing in mind that we have Sheffield United the weekend after, it puts us in a good position. what's also interesting this week, anyway, if we look at some of the matches, obviously this is a big match here from a top 4 title point of view. I know I said the T word. But it is what it is. Remember to like the video, guys. Like the vid. Here are some interesting games. Everton versus Chelsea away to Everton. Liverpool beat Fulham. I think that's fine. Arsenal beat Burnley. As an aside, as bad as it is at Manchester United, it's never going to be as bad as Arsenal. I'll just put that out there. It will never, ever be as bad as Arsenal. And now, who are Spurs playing? Where's the Spurs? Sorry, yeah, Spurs away to Crystal Palace. Yeah, okay. And Chelsea. I thought that was another big match. Okay, fine. That's just it. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that there are a lot of there's potential that some of the teams around us might drop points. And United, if we win this game, are in a better situation. And I think this is the conundrum really with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, is that we're obviously out of the Champions League. We're in the Europa League. We are in a semi-good position right now in the league with a game in hand. Now, I've said, and I'll just get this off, I've said, and I've been saying several times that I really don't care about the Europa League this season. I really, really don't. For me, right now, whether you like it or not, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is obviously the manager of Manchester United Football Club. And from what Ed Woodward seems to say, he's got his backing for the time being anyway. But if he beats Manchester City at this weekend, he's not going to be sacked, certainly before the January transfer window. So what do I think is the best way to approach the rest of the season? To the best way to approach the rest of the season is better. Yeah, the best approach the rest of the season. For me, the best approach with all the games, with all the injuries we're seeing with Cavani, etc., and I'll update you guys about that in a second, is to basically just bail out on the Europa League, play some kids from the academy, and just get out. We don't need the Thursday night football if we're going to really make a push for the league or certainly win a domestic trophy. Like, I just don't really see the issue really in fighting for the Europa League. If it's incredibly easy, sure, but looking at the teams in the Europa League now, to be honest, it's almost like a BTEC Champions League. With Leicester's obviously there, Spurs are there, or Arsenal are there, AC Milan, Inter, not Inter actually, because they got knocked up. They went fourth. Shakhtar, sorry, and a few other entries. So it's not going to be easy. And so as a result, I just don't see why we should waste our time in it when we can actually focus on one game effectively a week with plus or minus cup competitions, save our strength for that and push for the league. That for me is what I should say, because with this squad, we should be able to get top 4 quite comfortably. So why not push on a bit further? Why not challenge? And it'll be a lot easier to challenge if we don't have to worry about the Europa League. Let me have a quick look at the comments here. Get some of these. Yep. Anwar Bissaka will pocket Sterling again. Well, this is the thing. When I show you the starting lineup, a few people have mentioned it. Well, Anwar Bissaka's form has not been particularly good, Kobe. And one of the things that I think has been a problem or an issue regarding that is the fact that he seems to be coming inside a lot to help out. Like he's coming inside too much. He's coming inside too much to compensate for the lack of pace, in my opinion, of Lindelof and Harry Maguire. When he came at the club, he was bombing forward, going for, well, not bombing forward, but like he was much more of a fullback. Now it feels like him and even Telles, for example, having to come inside all the time to protect Lindelof and Maguire because they don't have any pace with the balls over the top, and it's a problem. And we've been conceding so many goals from this issue, from that side, from Anwar Bissaka, coming inside too much, not really, being on the near post or being outside and stopping the cross from coming in. Like it's not great. And personally for me, you've got to put Twansibi there. I think Twansibi and Wan-Bissaka will work a lot better than Maguire and Lindelof. But as I'll show you in my starting lineup, I think that's what he's going to do, Ollie. Shout out Average Joe. Hope you're doing well, Chief. Hope you are doing well. Southampton to win the league, not a chance. Not a chance. Do I do rate Hassan Hoff? He's a solid coach. He could definitely do bits. I see him moving to a big club in the next maybe year or two. Man United vs Burnley. You know that Ollie will make Sean Dyche look like prime Pep Barcelona in the game. Yeah, that is true. That is true. That is true. I'm interested to see how Burnley will play against Arsenal this weekend. In fact, a question for the channel: will Arsenal get relegated if they lose to Burnley at the weekend? Let me know your thoughts, because if you think the United fan base is toxic right now, I mean, my brother's an Arsenal fan. Boy, Arsenal is, that's a problem. Thoughts on Camavinga's place in Pogba? Yeah, I can see that. I guess the only thing I would say is that because Pogba looks like he wants to really push for a January move, and really, from what I can see, the only club that really would be interested in signing Pogba in the January transfer window might be Juventus. He wants to leave United. He wants a different club. We know that. That's what Pogba's made clear. Even though I disagree with the timing of the comments, I accept that he doesn't want to. I accept that he doesn't want to be at the club. But obviously, we need an offer. He's not going to go for free in January or the summer, but he will go for free for the following year. So, but Pogba's wanting to push the club and wanting to get something at least means that we need a bid and we need a sale for him. So as a result, personally for me, I think we take 50 to 60 million. I think that's fine. And then use that to get Camavinga in January if we can. Put that bid in. 65 million should be enough. Use the money that we've got from Pogba, the Pogba sale, and get Camavinga, or potentially Jack Grealish, because I think Jack Grealish is doing quite well this season. I think he'll be a good replacement. Well, not saying he's on Pogba's level, but he'd be an alright replacement. But him or Camavinga, it is what it is. Camavinga will not go to United. Well, that is another thing. I don't think he will. Like I said, the only real way that Camavinga will go to Manchester United is if basically we use the money, make a big bid to get him. Because a lot of the other clubs right now, the Barca's, the Real Madrids, don't have a lot of dough right now. United apparently do. So it is what it is. Don Mag again says, Bruno Marshall really be Rashford, so leaving United is more likely to happen than players like coming in. If all this shit show carries on. I don't think Rashford will leave. I think Rashford will be fine. Martial, I could definitely see, and Bruno likewise, because I don't think that Bruno will he might be here for 2 seasons, but if there's not any progress, then we at the end of the day, you need to be competing at the highest level for trophies. And if you're not competing in the Champions League, you need to at least be competing for the league for trophies. Because that's why I say about Juventus is like Juventus will dominate Serie A, win Serie A. Will they win the Champions League? I don't think so. So if you're going to go to Serie A, be prepared to potentially not win the Champions League, or most likely not win the Champions League. Whereas if you go to Real, there's still a good chance. Liverpool and Bayern Munich are obvious examples of teams right now that are in a situation where they are favourites to win the tournament. But it is what it is. Only cares about something because he beats the chest, which gives him the passion. Yeah. I mean, before I move on, I really don't get the obsession with Scott McTominay. I think if you actually watch the end of the game, the end of the Leipzig game, we ended with like 7 academy players. And I generally think that there is a weird bias towards Manchester Academy / British players from this coaching staff, because we ended the game with 7 academy players: Rashford, Greenwood, McTominay, Fosu-Mensah, Twan-Sebi, Pogba. That's 6. I'm missing out another one. Brandon Williams. 7 academy players were on that team. And it's and I don't get it really. Whereas you have even as much as people don't like Igalo or Dan James. Throwing on Igalo and Dan James at least means, right, we want to try and at least get a goal instead of putting on Foster. But anyway, I don't want to go into what happened with this. It just is what it is. But let me just quickly Let's go to our starting 11. Don't want to be too long. Let's show you the starting 11 that I think that he'll go for. Right. Okay. So hopefully everyone can see that again. This is what I think the starting 11 will be against Manchester City. De Gea obviously will be in goal. I know there's this whole Henderson versus De Gea issue, and that's something that's also got to be resolved. I think it was a terrible, terrible, terrible idea that we didn't extend. I thought it was a terrible idea that we didn't not that we extended, but that we didn't let Dean Henderson go up on loan. You know, Dean Henderson is good enough to be a first choice keeper. So bringing him back to fight out of David De Gea, in my opinion, was stupid. And if he's holding crisis talks to start, it just causes more problems. And I don't get it with this board. Sending players out on loan, getting experience, getting back so we can recall them when the time is right is fine. We now have 3 goalkeepers who are on a combined side of $1 million a week, and 2 of them barely play. That just doesn't make any business sense. But we've got Ed Woodward, so it is what it is. Anyway, let me just quickly read. Shout out to Rasmus in the Rouse. Shout out to Rasmus. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Solid player, Kobe. Solid player. But I don't think it's someone that Manchester United are really looking for. Who will you be supporting in UCL now? I'm supporting Juventus to CR7 gets another medal. I'm going to be honest. I'm supporting Bayern. Just because I just like the fact that Bayern Munich are a team. You know, Hansi Flick is obviously has done wonders with this Bayern side. And I just like the fact that they're a team. PSG are... And in most other teams, bar Liverpool, should we say, are just teams led by individuals. I'd like a dark horse to win it, but there aren't many dark horses that I can think of that are there that are outside to win it. Dortmund are definitely not going to win it. Chelsea, I don't want to win because their fans are just going to go absolutely crazy for years. Liverpool don't want to win it because reasons. It's Liverpool. City just for the lols. Bayern Munich is probably the best, or Leipzig. Bayern Munich or Leipzig, because I would like Thomas Tuchel. Sorry, not Thomas Tuchel. Screw Thomas Tuchel. I would like Nagelsmann. If we're gonna replace the coach, I really would like Julian Nagelsmann as the next coach, not Pochettino. Nagelsmann is my first choice because I feel more convinced with him than with Pochettino. Right, let's quickly go for. Hopefully, everyone can see that. So De Gea in goal. Now, what these arrows mean? These arrows simply mean that Luke Shaw and Wan-Bissaka are constantly having to. I think we will play a 4-2-3-1 against City. By the way, I don't think we'll play a 3-5-2 or 5 at the back. At least I don't think. At least we shouldn't. We shouldn't dare. Ollie shouldn't dare play a back 5 with Scott McTominay and Matic in that. It doesn't work. Stop playing it. Okay, don't play that formation. Okay, I think we'll revert back to a 4-2-3-1. Let's actually have a consistent formation for once. And then, like I said, Bissaka and Shaw, who I think is going to come in for Telles, in my opinion. I would be very surprised if Telles is on the bench instead of Shaw. I think Shaw is going to come back in, even though it doesn't look fit. We've got to just make sure that these two don't tuck inside all the time. They need to overlap with the likes of Rashford and Mata, who I'll get to later. But the fact that Wan-Bissaka in particular has been doing a lot of this recently is a problem. What Wan-Bissaka needs to be doing to get my arrow right. Where is it? Up left. Yeah, that's better. Something like that. Laying off to Fred or Mata. You know, not coming inside all the time. Whether he'll do that or not, I don't know. We also need to be much better at dealing with set pieces. We need to stop this zonal marking nonsense that doesn't work. We've conceded. must be 3 or 4 goals from set pieces, from the same zone of marking, from the same near post. It's not working. Stop it. I want to at least see, if Ollie's going to be here, I want to at least see some lessons learned. That's all, really. If he learns his lessons, it's fine. But the issue is that when you're seeing the same mistakes over and over again, no one at the near post, zone of marking, conceding from a set piece again, it is frustrating, and that needs to change. What's your who's going to win the Europa League in your opinion? Spurs. Spurs under Josie, I think, will win the Europa League, or possibly AC Milan if Zlatan does what Zlatan does. I think Alex says we'll start ahead of James. I want Fred and Matic, but he'll probably play McFred. Yeah, I suspect he'll play. I expect to play McFred. I'd rather. That's why I put McTominay and Fred in, because I expect he'll play. When we beat in City beforehand, we played Matic, Fred, and Bruno, or we played Matic, Pogba, and Fred. That should be the midfield. Matic, either Matic, Fred, and Bruno, or Matic, Pogba, and Bruno, or Matic, Fred, and Bruno. It shouldn't be or Fred, Pogba, and Bruno. That should be it. You plus or minus Van der Beek. In my personal opinion. McTominay for me just needs to I just don't think he's good enough in my opinion. Let me quickly go through. So let me just run one through. So yeah, obviously McTominay and Fred. That's who I think he's going to play. It is what it is. I'd rather he play Matic there, Matic, Fred, and Fernandes. If he's going to play 2 holding, because Fred has got that dynamism. It doesn't mean that we'll lose, but I just he's going to play McTominay. He is. And my thoughts on McTominay, but there we go. The front three is interesting. Now, according to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference, Cavani isn't fit as yet. He's on the grass, but he's not fit yet. So what's going to happen is, but Martial, looks like he could be involved. So I think Martial will start. That's why he's up top. Cavani, I don't think is going to make it. So I've gone for Fernandes, Rashford, and Mata on the right hand side. I personally don't think Mata is the right bet for this type of game, especially because basically the reason why I beat Manchester City all the time is that we basically just counter-attack with pace. So for me, I'd rather have this guy, whatever you say about this guy, than James. He does turn up in the big. But by turn up, I mean he runs into space. Manchester City are going to press really high and they're going to leave space in the back and we counterattack. That's it. I know that's what Pep Guardiola is going to do. That's why there's no point playing a back 5 or back 3. Play the 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3. Get fast runners at them. Get Rashford. Get Daniel James or get Greenwood. But I would probably say I would prefer Daniel James to just run at the City back 4 and we'll win the game. If he sets up like that, we'll win the game because City won't be able to cope with that running behind. It's how Spurs won. It's how Arsenal won. It's how you always beat Manchester City. So don't break something if it's not fixed. You know what I mean? And then obviously Martial and Fernandes behind. But that's what we should do. I hope it will be us or the god you mentioned. I hope so too, man, Rasmus. With the amount of money he's making, Bruno could at least sort out those Freddie Mercury-looking teeth. It's always shade from the Don, man. It's always shade from the Don. We should win this game. We should win this game. I'm gonna sound out in a second. Predict what are my predictions for the game? Is it wrong for me to be optimistic if he goes with that lineup? And go for we can't keep a clean sheet, so I'm going to go for 2-1, a Bruno Fernandes penalty and a Marcus Rashford goal. At the end of the day, City aren't really scoring a lot of goals. They don't really have an outright number 9, which, in my opinion, will cause Maguire and Lindelof problems. I think the pace on the wings from likes of Sterling and Mahrez is the real threat. And so that's why it's important, it's imperative that Shaw and Wan-Bissaka don't just keep on coming inside and allowing Mahrez and Sterling to cut in. Fred playing as a must. We need that tenacity in the midfield, the ability to win the ball. And we've got to have either a Rashford or James, Rashford and Greenwood, but I'd personally prefer Rashford, Daniel James to run at their back line because they're not going to be able to cope. As long as Kyle Walker's playing, we're going to get a penalty to bury it. So, 2-1 for me. I'm confident if we are of that mindset, then we'll win. To be fair, Ollie's record against Pep in 4 games, lost 1, won 3. So his record against Pep is good because he plays that way, and Pep Guardiola is not going to change. So for me, we play that formation and then we win the game. Thanks everyone who is watching. Remember, if you're new to the channel, shout out to everyone in the comments, Don Ragnar, Rasmus, Kobe, and everyone who will get involved. Average Joe as well. If you're new to the channel, remember to like, share, and subscribe to Red Devil Studio. Follow us on Twitter, X, and smash the notification button for the latest Manchester United news. I will be going live for a match reaction. I haven't done one of those in a while, so so hopefully we can get you guys involved for that as well. Have a nice evening, guys, and cheers.